CBSE Biology Class 10 Chapter 8 How do organisms reproduce Part 4b. Let us learn the biology chapters through questions and answers which most of the students prefer. Note that PG here is for page, PR for paragraph in your textbook, and questions are in yellow color while answers are in white color. What happens if an egg is not fertilized? If an egg is not fertilized, it lives for about 1 day and then discarded. What is menstruation and why it takes place roughly every month? If an egg is not fertilized, the thick lining of uterus is not needed any longer. So, the lining slowly breaks and comes out through the vagina as blood and mucus. This cycle takes place roughly every month and is known as menstruation. It usually lasts for about 2 to 8 days. Why some degree of sexual maturation does not necessarily mean the person is matured enough to every sense. As we have seen, the process of sexual maturation is gradual and takes place while general body growth is still going on. Therefore, some degree of sexual maturation does not necessarily mean that the body or the mind is ready for sexual acts or for having and bringing up children. Why it is said that making choices for marriage and having children can become very difficult. All of us are under many different kinds of pressure about these issues. There can be pressure from our friends for participating in many activities, whether we really want to or not. There can be pressure from families to get married and start having children. There can be pressure from government agencies to avoid having children. In this situation, making choices can become very difficult. Why it is said that there are possible health consequences of having sex? Since the sexual act is a very intimate connection of bodies, it is not surprising that many diseases can be sexually transmitted. These include bacterial infections such as gonorrhea and syphilis, and viral infections such as warts and HIV/AIDS. Is it possible to prevent the transmission of the diseases during the sexual act? Yes, it is possible. Using a covering called a condom for the penis during sex helps to prevent transmission of many of these infectious diseases to some extent. What happens if the body and mind of a woman is not ready for pregnancy? The sexual act always has the potential to lead to pregnancy. Pregnancy will make major demands on the body and the mind of the woman, and if she is not ready for it, her health will be adversely affected. Therefore, many ways have been devised to avoid pregnancy. These different ways are called contraceptive methods, birth control methods. Write about the different contraceptive methods. Number 1, mechanical barrier method. Number 2, changing the hormonal balance method. Number 3, IUDs, intrauterine devices. Number 4, surgical methods, where vas deferens is cut in the male, and in female the fallopian tube is cut. Why surgery for removal of unwanted pregnancies is not always legal? Surgery can also be used for removal of unwanted pregnancies. These may be misused by people who do not want a particular child, as happens in illegal sex selective abortion of female fetuses. For a healthy society, the female male sex ratio must be maintained. State the serious bad effects of reckless female feticides. For a healthy society, the female-male sex ratio must be maintained. Because of reckless female feticides, child sex ratio is declining at an alarming rate in some sections of our society. Although parental sex determination has been prohibited by law, you can see similar boards there in hospitals and also in the private clinics. What determines population size? The rates of birth and death in a given population will determine its size. Why the size of the human population is a cause for concern for many people? This is because an expanding population makes it harder to improve everybody's standard of living. End of this part. Dear students, share your doubts and questions to this email given below. The email is given in green color. The question answers of this chapter, how do organisms reproduce, will be continued in the next video.